Hi, I'm Jamie Rhodes, and you're checking me out on Chats. The Onyx Fest is presented by the Indie Fringe of Indianapolis, which is in its 10th year. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary this year, and the Onyx Fest is a part of that. The Onyx Fest is actually celebrating its third year. So there's and what it is basically an opportunity for African American playwrights to showcase their plays. It's usually done through a selection process where plays are chosen to be self-produced for the festival, which takes place every year in May. So I'm fortunate enough to be one of the plays that were selected this year, along with two others, and we're extremely excited about that. The play is called Tomcat. Takes place in 1951 in rural Mississippi and also Indianapolis, Indiana. I selected that topic even though it deals with essentially it's a love story. It's an interracial love story. I think that's what's going to play through the audience the most is, hey, look, these two guys, these two antagonists, if you will, in love with the same woman, really are kind of mirror images of each other. But I selected that time period because it's a time of pre-civil rights and America coming to grips with dealing with civil rights and kind of exploring how people lived at that time and the social customs of that time. Another thing I like about it is it's the pre-rock and roll period with rhythm and blues. I love rhythm and blues from that time period. We feature that in what we do in terms of some of the music that we play during the scene changes. So it's kind of bawdy, kind of racy music, and with a lot of pep, a lot of step, and that's what the play kind of represents. So I'm just attracted to that time period. It's just something that just kind of intrigues me. And again, that pre-civil rights movement is right there and it coincided with pre-rock and roll. To me, it's just kind of a fascinating period in American culture. The message that I hope everyone takes away from the production is I just want folks to come out and have a good time. And if they happen to learn something along the way, that's fine too. And I hope they just enjoy the show. I hope they enjoy the performances. I hope they enjoy even the music that we're playing, and just enjoy the whole piece in terms of Tomcats, what it encapsulates from a historical perspective, from that time period, and just how people interacted, at that time. So there's really nothing in terms of, from a formal standpoint. It's just folks coming out. It's just a good story, and I just want folks to come out and just really be entertained and really for me, just come out and have a good time and enjoy themselves. The main character is Tommy Lee Monroe. He's played by Benjamin. And Tommy Lee is the centerpiece of the story. It's his story, but it also could be other stories of other black men from that time period, as well as black men today, but especially from that time period. So he kind of represents a composite of different individuals. So he's a guy that's kind of hot-headed. He's been raised by his father, who's a minister. So he's been raised in a Christian home to half his life. Another half he's been raised in a bar / almost a brothel. So he's kind of like he's got some contradictions there. The next character is Ruby Ann English. She is played by Jatan Tierra. Ruby Ann English is the person that the two, if you will, the protagonist and the antagonist are fighting over. She is the centerpiece of the love triangle. She kind of keeps it together. She's what these men are willing to sacrifice and tear each other to pieces over. So, and she's played by Jatan Tierra, who is bringing a lot of excitement, and she's worked really hard. She's doing very well. And I want to say too, Benjamin too. He's worked extremely hard, and they're prepared for this. The last major character is Riley Sinclair, and Riley is a white Southerner, very rich, of the landed gentry of Mississippi, you could say. And he has been basically keeping the Ruby Ann as a mistress for several years. And Tommy comes into town and is pretty much not having that. So, of course, Riley doesn't want to change. He wants to, as they say, have his supper in a big house and his dessert in a squalid shack is one of the lines that kind of comes up. That person, Riley, is played by Joshua Blanton. who's also come in and done a really stellar job in a complex character. You know, Riley's character was actually educated up north in Harvard, at Harvard University, and he comes back home in the South. So he's got a lot of contradictions and conflicts within him as well too. So all these characters have a certain level of depth that I think the actors have really taken to and kind of made into their own. For me, this is a different medium. I have a background. I've written a novel. I've done several screenplays. So this is my first stage play, and it's like, why do a stage play? Well, it's a different medium for me, so that makes a different challenge. And I want to, try to do all the mediums that I can. So I have plans. I want to do a graphic novel down the road. I want to come back and do a film or a couple films along the way, and I want to do more stage plays. But they are different. Writing for the stage, the camera picks up a lot for you when you're doing film, says a lot for you. In the stage plays, you gotta do it with dialogue. So I love writing dialogue, and it gives you a certain freedom when you're writing characters and having those characters to speak their mind, which is a little different, where the camera can pick that up. And of course, writing a book is that's just more in depth and personality, and you got to paint the whole picture for everyone. So writing a novel to me is just more time-consuming and tedious to me, and more of a challenge in certain ways because you just got to lay out the entire landscape. But I love all three of the mediums. I'm looking to expand and do more. But I certainly really enjoy doing the stage play. I've learned a lot during this Onyx Fest, in the process going through it, how to structure the play, and just a ton of things. So I'm very excited for this opportunity and to be here and to be speaking with Chats about this matter as well. My novel is titled Pray Messiah, and it's a supernatural thriller which takes place back in 1960s. Again, Mississippi. I don't know, I just got this thing about Mississippi, so we go back to Mississippi. It's a very exciting tale. The book is only 150 pages long, but the story takes place in about an 8 to 10 hour period, so a lot of things happen extremely quick. So it's a real page turner. I wrote it with men in mind because I wanted to get more men reading books, and I figured if we have something that deals with action, some sex, some romance, a little bit of violence incorporated in there too, but also with a good storyline, a good plot. The book was well received, and I've been asked about a sequel to it. I'm still formulating that, and I do want to come back to it eventually. Sebastian's Pen was a short film that I did several years ago, and it was a really great experience. That would be something that could be on an episode of The Twilight Zone, except it also dealt with the social issue of child molestation. But again, I did it in the standpoint of entertaining people, and they didn't understand what it was about until the end. It was kind of revealed what the significance of the pen was. It actually was a pen, it's not a metaphor, and how it played out. So I was very excited. I had that was actually in 4 film festivals, one in San Francisco, one in Martha's Vineyard, one in North Carolina, and one in the UK in London. So I'm very excited about that. I want to do more of that sort of work. So again, I appreciate Chats giving me the opportunity to speak on all those subjects as well. Folks, right now I have a Facebook page, and I'm getting plugged in, so I've got I'm looking at a Twitter account and all this sort of thing. So I've got to get acclimated to, doing this thing, social media in the 21st century, so I've got to get up to speed on that. The book right now can be had if you hit me up on Facebook under just currently Jamie Rhodes. You can make your intentions known. Just inbox me, and we can see about getting out a copy to you. It's like $9.95, and it'll be shipping as well. I will even throw in a signed copy for you. I'll sign it and be glad to do so. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out there and learning more about how all of this works. So I'm just excited to, focusing on one thing at a time, but definitely probably come up with a website and have a little bit more personal, I guess as much personal relationship you can have with somebody through the social media. So I do want to create an outlet where folks can kind of follow me, and if they're still excited about what I'm doing, I hope they are, then I want to give them as much access to that information as I can. Hey, I'm Jamie Rhodes, and you're checking me out on Chats.